I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available, because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
You're listening to the new 101.7 The Truth, founded in partnership with Associated Bank. Your money works here. 101.7 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm your host, Kyle Wallace, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talk in text line, 833-212-1017. And as always, Truth Nation, you can call in and text in if you want to chime in on the conversation today. Y'all been showing up, haven't they? They've been showing up, Rhea. A lot of calls this week. I appreciate that. I love to have the engagement. Everybody say I need more time. Well, yeah, especially when Truth Nation calls in. But y'all can also watch and stream us live on the YouTubes by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. We can give us a like. You can give us a share. You can give us a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth show. Shout out to Rhea Riley, holding it down on the ones and the twos.
Hello.
And shout out to you, Truth Nation. You notice my hoodie I got on, Rhea? What'd it say?
Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah. You see that big ring on there? I should have wore my ring. That's what I should have did.
Last time I wore a Buck shirt, someone was like, "Oh, you still repping that?"
Yeah, I'm still repping that. And I told y'all. Remember, I told y'all about Giannis a couple weeks ago. Oh, when DJ Brother Z last Friday, I told him it was over. And yesterday,
you ain't tell me nothing.
Oh,
I ain't listened to that.
Yeah, you have it. Zach said, "I don't care." Yeah. So I'm still repping my Bucks because I still love Giannis and I still love my Bucks despite what is probably going to come this summer. But with that being said, Truth Nation, before I get into off the top today. I do want to let y'all know tomorrow's a big day. Tomorrow's a big day because it's Friday, and I love me my Fridays. I really do. But also, there could be another government shutdown that happens on Friday. Currently, the Democrats are saying they do not want to fund additional money towards the border and ICE, and that they will not vote yes on any additional fundings being part of the new package to extend the federal government if it has new money for ICE. So, next week, we could be talking about a federal shutdown. But with that being said, Truth Nation, I want to hit y'all with Off the Top.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
Truth Nation, I keep telling y'all, we got to read the tea leaves. You got to check the signs. And one thing the Biden administration should have taught us is that the stock market is not a reflection of the economy and the strength of the economy. That's one thing that we should have learned. Just because Facebook, aka Meta, just because Microsoft, Google, Amazon, just because when their earnings come out, they're making money, and just because of the fact that their stocks are growing does not mean that it's impacting the traditional American. Traditional Americans don't reap the benefits from the stock market. Now, I got stock in all of them. Facebook, Microsoft, probably in a different place. Google, Amazon, yeah, because they make money. But I ain't using that on my day-to-day. That's for when I retire. For when I want to lay my head down. For when I just want to come here, do Truth to Power when I'm 70, and then go home and relax. That's what that's for. That's not for now. That's not for day-to-day living money. So the stock market is not an indication of how strong the economy is or isn't. And Joe Biden can tell you that. Now, 2025 was a year of pain. And Elon Musk told y'all that 2025 was going to be a year of pain. He predicted that on the 2024 campaign trail with Donald Trump. The Doge that they had went in and slashed federal workers and offered, people an opportunity to get paid out, to retire, to leave, to take payouts. And Doge was supposed to save money. They were supposed to be the Department of Government Efficiency. It was supposed to save money for the United States federal government. Did you know that we actually spent more money in 2025 as a country than we did in 2024? One real-time tracking analysis found spending in the first 11 months of 2025 was about $248 billion higher than what they had the previous year in 2024. So much for Doge cutting waste. Now, I will admit, we still will see the long-term impact from the cuts when it comes to the savings, but in the short term, we spent more money last year as a government than we did the previous year. The slashing led to about 335,000 federal jobs being lost in America last year. 335,000 federal jobs being lost in America. That is a ginormous number. That is a small major U.S. city type population. That is the size of a city that's bigger than Madison. 335,000 federal workers were laid off. That's more than what they have in the city of Madison, which is the second largest city in the state of Wisconsin. So do not think that this is not a significant number. And when you couple that with the fact that the United States gained less than 1 million jobs last year, we netted less than 1 million jobs in the year 2025. In the year prior, we gained 2.2 million jobs in 2024. So that's a big loss. When you lose over 1.2 million jobs, and I think to be more accurate, I think it's 1.4 million jobs less. That's a big deal. We got to follow the tea leaves. Got to see where the energy's going. What do people say is this? Your energy, the spirit, I don't know. The ore? No, ore don't roar. I don't go where. What do y'all young folks say? Follow the energy.
I don't know what that is.
Well, you supposed to be a young folks, so you claim. But Truth Nation, the reason I bring this all up is because there is big news. There was big news which came out yesterday. Big news with UPS. And not to be confused with USPS, the United States Postal Service, just UPS. Them folks who be dressing in brown. What can brown do for you? Them folks came out with some big news yesterday as they announced they are cutting 30,000 jobs. And they're closing 24 facilities due to less demand. In the year of 2025, they handled 2 million less pieces of packages per day than what they did the previous year. That's a big deal, y'all. That is a big deal when you're closing 24 facilities. Because when you close facilities, that means that, we don't need you. When you're cutting 30,000 jobs, that means, we don't need you. And that just means that American people's spending habits are changing. They have less disposable income to spend on things that aren't needs, but they're things that they want. And also, this follows a cut of 48,000 workers that happened in 2025. So in addition to all that, Amazon has announced a plan to lay off 16,000 people this year, which follows an announcement in October where they laid off 14,000 people. And these aren't just factory jobs. These are white-collar jobs, Truth Nation. And when I say white-collar jobs, that's getting cut 30,000 white-collar jobs in a span of 5 months from Amazon. Those are jobs of people who are corporate. Them ain't factory workers. And you're talking about jobs that have an entry level that varies between $80,000 and $110,000 per year. That is a significant loss. When you're talking about 30,000 people across this country losing their job that pays them $80K to $110,000, that is significant. When you're talking about 30,000 people who are now looking for jobs in a job market that is bare, that is a problem. Imagine you losing your job today and now having to compete with so many other people for the same amount of jobs. It's a scary thing that's on the horizon, and I just want y'all to know this is a significant thing that has happened. This should be a sign. If fulfillment companies are saying they have less orders to fill, if fulfillment companies are cutting back on staff, what do y'all think retail businesses are feeling right now? I'm not an economist. I don't know economics. Me and math don't get along. I just do plus, I can do 16,000 plus 14,000. That's easy. Once you start putting, MX plus B, and once you start talking about calculus and all that, I ain't doing all that. Have somebody else do it. But again, if Amazon is laying off people, if UPS is laying off people, these fulfillment companies are laying people off, what do you think retail is feeling? What do you think Macy's is feeling? What do you think Kohl's is feeling? What do you think JC Penney's is feeling? What do you think some of those companies are feeling right now? Our United States economy is not healthy right now. And I don't know if y'all knew this, the US dollar, United States dollar value is down. It's down 10% over the last 12 months. That is significant. That means the dollar isn't as strong as what it was a year ago. Men lie, women lie, but numbers do not lie. They actually tell a story, Truth Nation. That's what numbers do. And for those who want to listen and not be in denial, 2026 is setting up to be a very, very tough year. It's setting up to be a pretty stagnant year for our economy because companies, what they do is they plan to wait and see how things shake out. And they'll hope for it to get better. And so I was telling y'all in 2025 why it was so significant for the fact that we had this fluctuation in decisions, and what we're going to do is corporations don't play those games. Corporations, a lot of them who are traded on the stock market, have people they need to answer to. And so they can't sit here and say, well, maybe this or no. They say, no, we're going to go ahead and expect the worst and hope for the best. And I should say they plan for the worst and hope for the best. Companies also right now are leaning in, as people say, they're leaning in to technology. They're leaning in to artificial intelligence. So, listen, I know some people like AI, some people don't like AI. But do know these companies are leaning into AI and technology. Do not think this huge push for AI data centers is just by happenstance. Just don't think that these data centers are popping up out of, literally multiple happening right now just because. Do understand is that these companies and corporations understand what the need is. These companies and corporations understand they're going to need more data centers because there's going to be more of a reliance on AI information and be able to use AI. Truth Nation, they are looking to reduce and replace the workforce of people with technology. And I was speaking with somebody about this. And the reason why technology seems so appealing to these companies is Listen, you know what? I just got me some food. I took something called a lunch break. I know I rarely take it. Rhea said, we don't really know about them. We don't. But guess who don't need a lunch break? Guess who ain't complaining about not getting a lunch break, Rhea? Technology. Technology don't need a lunch break. Rhea, you ever needed a sick day before?
Yes.
You know who don't need sick days? Kyle Wallace and technology. Yeah, I ain't never taken a sick day, have I?
When you had COVID.
Yeah, I still worked from home. So, sick day. But guess who don't get COVID?
AI.
Technology. Guess who doesn't need a mental health break? Technology. Guess who doesn't need to have good team morale? Technology. Guess who doesn't need a union? Technology. Technology, they just here to work. They don't know. They ain't work. Technology don't know the difference between a 8-hour workday, a 4-hour workday, and a 20-hour workday. That's what it is. So I know some of y'all may be like, well, that may not happen. No, it's going to happen. And I know somebody who is a traditional conservative. And fiscally, they are against reckless spending by our government. They believe in the fact that there needs to be some type of benefits for those who are in need, but they don't believe in just recklessly government handing out money. They are somebody who is anti the government just handing out money unless it's absolutely necessary. They're fiscally hawkish when it comes to the economy, and they're a traditional conservative. He even said that at the pace that we are going, if we stay at this pace where you're talking about white-collar jobs, and again, when I say white-collar jobs, no knock on factory workers because they are the foundation of this country and they are just as important as white-collar. But a white-collar job typically takes some form of education, whether it's 2-year or 4-year education. If you have folks who are investing into their education and going to get these 80 to 110,000 entry-level jobs who are now being laid off, that is a problem. And he said to me, listen, I am not one that traditionally believes in any type of universal basic income, but if we continue at this pace here in America, universal basic income is going to be needed in America to keep it from collapsing, because if you're relying on technology to do all the work and you don't actually have human beings in there making money, stimulating the economy is going to collapse. And that was a huge statement from a guy who has a higher degree in finance and economics from a very prestigious institution, actually. One of the best out there when it comes to getting your MBA and things like that. So, Truth Nation, I don't know what 2027 will hold, but I do know we will feel the effects of poor and unpredictable decisions made in 2025. We will feel those effects right now in 2026. This is just only the beginning. This is only the beginning. Listen, we ain't through the first month. And you're talking about UPS and Amazon firing people? They just the first ones to do it. Target, I'm telling y'all, it is just the first thing of signs to come. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Make sure y'all watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure y'all give us a like. Make sure you give us a share. Make sure you give us a subscribe so you don't miss any of your favorite award-winning 1017 The Truth shows. Now, when we come back, Truth Nation, you know, some of y'all love to talk about how we need to protect black women. Some of y'all love to talk about how we need to stand up for our black folks. Some of y'all love to talk about how, the white man holds us down, or the Democrats don't do this, or Republicans don't do that. A lot of y'all like to talk about how we want to stand behind our black queens, but when we have an opportunity to stand behind our black queens, y'all don't say a damn thing. Politicians who are black are being assaulted here in America. And I ain't hearing enough people push back against it. We're going to talk about that next. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Keep it locked.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. Milwaukee Black Talk.
You don't want to be there. You don't like the work. You don't like the people. Now, there are some differences. The only difference is modern American slavery and capitalism versus 19th century. We were dramatically more primitive back then. And a slave that is able to buy their freedom is the same as the disaffected, disgruntled worker that is able to buy their way into entrepreneurship, because that for them is freedom.
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
If you've been injured, let our team help get you back in the game. Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of the Milwaukee Bucks. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. That's because their agents will make you feel totally protected with a home and auto or life policy that is just right for you. Also, you are free to enjoy your dreams. With American Family Insurance, they make it so easy. All you have to do is go to amfam.com. When you go to amfam.com, they have something where you can get a quote instantly online. You can get a quote, fill out some information, and get a quote right there on the spot. Or you can find an agent near you where they can walk you through everything that you need to know. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Visit them today at amfam.com. It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. And you can call in, text in on today's conversation at 833-212-1017. You can also call in, text in at that same number as well. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Now, before I get into it, I just saw on Facebook there was this young girl talking about how all the 5 rappers she slept with. As a rapper, why would you want to sleep with somebody who's been recycled and ran through? I've never understood that, how all these women, like especially with these NBA players like Jalen Green, who's like 24 and he's dating a 37-year-old. Like, what are we doing? Like, why? First and foremost, why do you take pride in sleeping with athletes, and why do you take pride in sleeping with somebody that sleep with other athletes? That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. I never once went out to the club and said, "Oh, you hooked up with my boys too? Oh yeah, she the one." That's gross. That's gross. So I never got it. Never got it. But back to what I was going to talk about is black politicians are being assaulted across America. And we aren't talking enough about it. Y'all remember when they said we need to stop with political violence? That was a whole big thing. It was a big thing after Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, sadly and tragically. It's a huge thing. Remember when they were doing all the finger pointing and saying which side was wrong, that side was wrong? And I tried to tell y'all that hot, controversial rhetoric coming from Trump is not helping put out the flames of hate. He is just doing more to ignite the fire. That is what I tried to tell y'all months ago. Now, over the weekend, Maxwell Frost, who is a black congressman from Florida and is the youngest member of the United States of Congress, was at the Sundance Film Festival in Utah. The brother went to Utah at the film festival, which one of my good friends, shout out to Goodrum and Good Entertainment, Justin Goodrum was at the film festival last year. He actually got a chance to enjoy that. But it's like a private type event. And he was at the film festival hanging out with his friends, having a good time, living his life, when he was punched in the face by a gentleman there. Now, the gentleman came up to him and his female friend and reportedly made racist and anti-immigration comments towards him, telling him that he was going to deport this black man from America, and punched him in his face. Now, where do you think he got that idea from? Where do you think he got the idea to yell at somebody saying, I'm going to deport you? Where do y'all think that comes from? Do you think that came from his household, or you think that came from the fact that we have this rhetoric right now that is a hot rhetoric across this country where they want to deport people, and they are deporting people? A sitting member of the United States Congress got punched in the face. And a lot of y'all ain't heard the story. A lot of y'all don't know who Maxwell Frost is. And so that didn't sit right with me. Truth Nation, having somebody have a racially charged incident like that here in this country and having a sitting member of Congress getting punched is not something that we need to have. But the problem is that the language that the man used mimicked language that we hear coming out the White House. How scary of a time do we live in where you could be at a film festival of all places in Utah? I ain't going to Utah because people getting popped in Utah, people getting punched in Utah. That's where Charlie Kirk got shot. He was in Utah. I ain't going there. Ain't enough of us there anyways, and a whole bunch of Mormons. I ain't going there. And you get assaulted. And where's the outrage at? Where are the people who are condemning this, saying that there is no place in America for this? Because this is silent. Rhea, had you heard this story before or no?
No, not this one.
And that's what I'm saying. Maxwell Frost is a sitting member of Congress that got assaulted. And nobody knows about this story. And then, Truth Nation, only days later in Minneapolis, Minnesota, another politician was assaulted. Ilhan Omar, a black Somalian American, congresswoman from Minnesota, was hosting a speaking engagement event, and while speaking, she was attacked by a pro-Trump far-right Republican who's also a drunk. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube to see this incident that only happened days after Maxwell Frost, another black politician, was punched in the face, was told he was going to get deported, and had to deal with the racial slurs being hurled at him. Go to 1017 The Truth to see the video, or you can turn up the 1017 The Truth app, or you can also turn up your radio to hear the incident which took place between Ilhan Omar and this idiot a couple days ago.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
Oh my God. Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we will continue.
No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked. No,
we will continue this.
Not gonna get away with it. You need to go get checked. No, I don't know what. No. That's whatever it is smells so bad. She needs to go get checked. I don't know what that was.
That's what they want. Please don't let them know.
It's not about him, Ilhan. Ilhan, it's not about him. It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on you. You need to go get checked. Yeah, and it smells terrible.
We're gonna keep talking. Just give me 10 minutes. I learned at a young age you don't give in to threats. You look them in the face and you stand strong. They pick the wrong person every day. And
I give her credit for that, because first and foremost, that was a poor decision of her to stand there after being sprayed with a substance she did not know about. She should have got medical attention and get checked right away. But you need leadership, and you need people who are going to stand up and say, bleep that. I ain't standing for that. And she actually ran up on him like, nuck if you buck. That's what she really did. But that, to me, is power. That is leadership, to stand in there and say, listen, this is the nonsense we deal with, but I'm not going to back down. That is disgusting behavior from that individual. And no, it was not staged. And some of y'all, if y'all hear people say it's staged, no, it was not staged. President Trump, without evidence, suggested that Rep. Ilhan Omar staged an incident during her town hall on Tuesday night when a man sprayed her with an unknown substance. Trump said, I don't think about her. I think she's a fraud. She probably sprayed herself. Knowing her. Charlie Kirk gets shot, and everybody talking about the leftist rhetoric. The president of the United States sees a woman who kind of got sprayed with anything. And that's the response that you get. And that's who some of y'all follow behind. Don't let nobody ponder if this was a hoax or it was fake, because it was not. This man is a Trump-loving guy who made all his political beliefs known on social media, and everybody around him knew what his political beliefs were. And he's a bad dude. He's gotten tickets for being drunk and all. He's unstable. So when people and folks try to float that narrative that it was a hoax or it was staged, please ignore them. Shut them down with facts. Don't allow people like that to float things like that, because they're unintelligent. This is just so revolting for someone to do. Who knows what that man sprayed on her? We don't even know. It was just disgusting. And the crazy thing is, thank goodness it wasn't what happened here in Milwaukee. I don't know if y'all recall, there was a man that got acid thrown on him here in Milwaukee. And so there is one reason why she's being attacked, and that one reason is Donald Trump. This isn't anything that she's been doing. It simply comes down to the reckless behavior and the childish language coming out the White House, which has emboldened folks to do reckless things like that. You heard his comments, or at least I showed you his comments. It's completely ridiculous, and it is dangerous. You can't continue to do things like this, and it has to be unacceptable. And where are the people who are conservatives condemning this type of language? And I know this language of what caused this is simply because of the fact that Trump continues to attempt to drag Ilhan Omar's name. You heard it there, but then on top of that, just that same week where he said he don't think about her, he made comments about her. And then even more recently, I'm going to play a video. These are some comments that he made about her recently as well, but he don't think about her. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube for the video.
Think of that Ilhan Omar. She lives in Somalia. They don't have a government. They don't have a military. They don't have police. They don't have anything. All they have is murder and robbing ships, bringing in ships, pirates. That's stopped. Same missile, ping. That's the end of them. It's amazing how that can stop corruption. Those missiles, they never miss, you know. The same one, exactly the same one. But think of it. She comes from a country with nothing, and she comes here and she tells us about our Constitution. I have a constitutional right to rip off the country. I guess she's a total scam artist. Anybody knows it. How do you let her get away with it? AOC +3. She was one of the three. They're all scammers. They're so bad for our country.
But he don't think about her. He don't think about her. That's just distasteful and extremely dangerous rhetoric. And Omar even said herself, is every time the president of the United States has chosen to use hateful rhetoric to talk about me in the community that I represent, my death threats skyrocket. A black woman is getting death threats. A black woman is getting death threats for simply representing her community and standing up and speaking out against what is happening. For being a voice of the people. Just last year, people were talking about cooling down the political tension. How is this calming that tension? How is calling a refugee from Somalia garbage? How is that bringing down the tension? How do comments like this accomplish that goal? We need to cut the name calling from a political standpoint, because we have politicians getting murdered like politicians in Minneapolis, Melissa Hortman and her husband. You have podcasters getting murdered in Utah and killed like Charlie Kirk. We have protesters being shot and killed in Minnesota by ICE, and now we have multiple Democratic politicians who are being assaulted within 4 days of each other. And the president's response is to say, oh, well, she probably sprayed herself. Anybody but Trump should have been the mantra. But too many of y'all were blinded by your dislike, your disdain. I think lack of knowledge and ignorance, but that's my personal perspective. Too many of y'all were not politically savvy enough to truly evaluate the candidates that we had to vote for. All you had to do was a simple pros and cons list, And you could have found out who was best for America, for our community, and for yourself. I'm not saying the Democratic Party is best for you, but I'm saying that this chaos and chaoticness that we see can't be good. People warned y'all. People told you he was a liar. People told you he was coming back with a vendetta and a vengeance. And now look. Now we're left with a terrible economy, social unrest, and Americans being murdered for the world to see, all in just over a little bit of a year. Shameful. Just shameful. And for y'all who think this stock market is on fire, here's a fact that I need y'all to know, because whenever I talk about the economy, folks want to point out the stock market, which the stock market was better under Biden. The S&P 500 rose about 13.3% last year, which is the lowest gain in roughly 2 decades for a president in their first year. So Trump's first-year economy was the worst that we have had for the stock market in almost 2 decades. This was the first year for a president in the stock market growth in 20 years. So stop sipping the Kool-Aid and start talking facts. Because some of y'all got feelings, and y'all feelings got us in a mess. Some of y'all was upset, disappointed, making up stuff, and now look at us. But now y'all want to ignore the mess that was created. 833-212-1017. If you have any thoughts or you have any comments about the fact that we are not protecting our black politicians, we got to speak up against the fact when black politicians are getting sprayed with things. We got to speak up against when black politicians like Maxwell Frost is getting punched in the face while at a film festival and having to endure racist comments and having to be told to be deported. When are we going to stand up for our own? You don't need to agree with everything they say. Listen, I don't agree with a lot of stuff that Tim Scott says, and I think he's much of a sellout. But if Tim Scott got sprayed in the face, if Tim Scott got punched in the face, I would condemn that because that's wrong. There's no place for physical violence. That is wrong. I was texting with a friend yesterday who was talking about some of the political violence because I sent him a video of the United States Senator Tom Tillis from North Carolina. He's retiring Republican. And once they retire, they always start talking real tough against Trump. And he was taking shots at Trump. He was taking shots at Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, and just what they're doing with ICE. And he said the exact same thing I've been saying for months. Literally, I got a friend who my friend blocked me. I don't know if I said this on air. My friend blocked me because he was part of when they were shooting at folks who were connected to ICE down in Texas. He wasn't part of that scenario, but he was in a vehicle one time that they got shot at. And I told him it is very unfortunate that this is happening, and it's unfortunate that Trump is causing for people to do this. I said, it doesn't have to be like this. He was mad because he said, I blame Trump. And I said, well, the problem is that ICE agents weren't being attacked like this before Trump had this reckless rhetoric and reckless way of going about things. So, yes, it's Donald Trump. This is his plan. He said, go ahead and do this, and now it's causing for people to be harmed. And I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. No one from ICE should be harmed. Just because you disagree with them doesn't mean they should be harmed. But as Tom Tillis said, is that the tactics that they are having is putting innocent people in ICE lives at risk. Again, you may disagree with the objective of ICE. You may not like some of them ICE folks, but they're still human beings. And this administration is putting human beings' lives at risk. And I said it on Monday. If they keep this up, one day we will be talking about a tragedy. One day we will be talking about how somebody from ICE was attacked. And the Lord knows I don't want us to deal with that. So at some point there needs to be a decision made to say we need to be more strategic about this before somebody goes crazy and something tragic happens in this country. 833-212-1017. Why aren't more people standing up to defend Ilhan Omar? Why aren't more black people, black women, black men standing up to protect these black politicians? Do people allow for their political lean to make them not want to protect black people? Is being a Republican more powerful and mean more to you than being a black man? Than being a black woman? 833-212-1017 is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I'll take your calls. I'll take your texts. I'll read your YouTube chats on the other side.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Truth Nation, it's time once again to celebrate excellence, passion, and the power of community at the second annual Truth Community Awards, happening Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 inside the 3rd Street Market Hall in downtown Milwaukee. This award show will honor the unsung heroes who show up, give back, and make a positive impact in our community every single day. We are rolling out the red carpet and showing love to those who truly deserve it. Buy your tickets now by visiting 1017thetruthAwards.com. Tickets are just $20, which includes free food and exclusive Truth giveaways. Join the 1017 The Truth team for an unforgettable night of entertainment, inspiration, and community pride at the second annual Truth Community Awards on Friday, February 20th at Venue 3 in Milwaukee. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffels, Milwaukee College Prep, Cousin Subs, Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Williams, and I want to share with you the role that diabetes has had in my family. I lost my grandmother at the early age of 64 due to complications with diabetes. She was warm, generous, and a constant encouragement for me to follow my heart. Did you know that African Americans experience chronic kidney disease at a rate that's 25% higher than white Americans? And we're almost 4 times more likely to develop kidney failure. Diabetes and high blood pressure are leading causes of kidney disease, which can result in kidney failure, needing dialysis, or a kidney transplant. The good news is that you have the power to check out how well your kidneys are doing and learn ways to prevent them from failing. So go to your doctor and get yourself checked out. Visit linkbylovetv.org to learn more. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
This is Associated Bank Sports Center update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Andrew Zimmel. The trade rumors around Giannis Antetokounmpo haven't cooled down, with multiple teams rumored to be making moves to acquire the 2-time MVP. The Miami Heat, Minnesota Timberwolves, and New York Knicks, as well as the Golden State Warriors, are among the serious suitors for Antetokounmpo, league sources have told Shams Charania. The Milwaukee Bucks take on the Washington Wizards tonight, aiming to halt their 3-game slide. The Bucks have gone 14-15 against Eastern Conference opponents. Milwaukee has a 4-6 record in one-possession games. And the Wisconsin Badgers woke up in the second half, beating Minnesota 67-63 at the Kohl Center last night. The 18-point comeback tied a school record for the largest second-half comeback since at least 1945. With the win, the Badgers have now beaten the Gophers 11 times in a row, setting a new program record. This True Sports Update was brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams, member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Truth Nation, mark your calendars for Friday, February 20th for the second annual Truth Community Awards, and where we will be celebrating individuals making a real difference in our community. Tickets are on sale now. Visit 1017truthAwards.com to learn more. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks Foundation, Gruber Law Offices, Steinhoffel's Cousin Subs, in Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall. It takes place Friday, February 20th, hosted by Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman from 5:30 to 8 p. We'll all be there having a great time. Make sure y'all get y'all tickets. They're going fast. Don't wait till the last minute now. Last year, people waited to the last minute. People trying to ask, can I get a ticket? Don't wait to the last minute. Go ahead and get one of your tickets. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host, Kyle Wallace. You can watch the stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure y'all give us a like. Make sure y'all give us a share. As black politicians have been assaulted, multiple. In the span of 4 days, 2 black politicians were assaulted here in America. And I don't believe any politician should be assaulted. I don't think it's a laughing matter. I don't think anybody should be assaulted. But for me, I think when somebody that looks like me is impacted, I feel a little bit more connected to them. So knowing that Maxwell Frost was assaulted, I don't sit well with me. Knowing that Ilhan Omar had something sprayed on her, and according to somebody here, they said it was apple cider vinegar. Excuse me, I don't know why I said vinegar. Apple cider vinegar. I don't know. I don't know, Rhea. I cannot confirm that. I have not heard that. But we shouldn't stand for this. You don't have to like somebody to condemn something that happened to them. I ain't got to like somebody. Even my worst enemy, I would say, well, I don't want that to happen to him. But 833-212-1017. Why are more people not standing up and talking about this? Why is it that Rhea Riley, who works in the news, works in the media, who be on social media because she be sending me stuff that she be seeing, why did she not hear about Maxwell Frost being assaulted? The youngest United States congressman, a person of color, was assaulted, and it's now all over our timeline. 833-212-1017. Miss Sandra in Milwaukee. Why aren't more people standing up for black politicians?
I think I always stand up for all of them, especially black ones, except for the Tim Scotts and stuff, because they see what's happening too. But I'm always standing up. In fact, I got kicked off of YouTube standing up for our black people.
Who you got kicked off YouTube?
I always call in.
Who kicked you off YouTube?
Huh?
Who kicked you off YouTube?
I guess they did.
Who is they?
I guess they did every time. The company.
You're not talking about. You talking about YouTube. You're not talking about good corporate. I thought you said somebody blocked you. Like
no, YouTube. No.
Oh.
YouTube. Yeah.
Create a new account?
I said something. They said something. Huh?
Create you a new account.
They said something about. Okay, they said something about Barack and his wife. So I made a comment. I said, well, why you always have something negative about them? You never say nothing about Melania and Ivanka. See, you got to match them with match. Now, Trump got shot. What did they say? Oh, he got shot. Oh, but it didn't look like an original shot. It was like he hit his
shot.
Right, he hit his ear, and there was a balloon there and blood rushed down. That's what it seemed to me. But anyways, are you going to that Melania movie?
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? So I have 2 free tickets. It's funny. I live with a liberal. She can't stand Trump. I mean, when I say she can't stand Trump, she hates Trump. Okay. And when we got 2 free tickets to go to the Marcus Cinema. And so I said, oh, baby, we should go to a movie. We ain't been to a movie in a while. You want to go see Melania? I almost got cussed the hell out. She said, why in the bleep would you even ask me that bleep? Not even a joke. So, no, we would not be going to see Melania. We're not supporting that. I hope it flies.
Well,
are you going to see it?
People, honey. I'll probably get kicked off everything off of your show if I go see it. No, I'm not going to see it.
I encourage people not to go see it. Don't go see it. Don't support the machine, the propaganda machine. Even though I do believe it'd be interesting. But don't support the propaganda machine.
Who gave you free tickets?
I went to Marcus Cinema and Greg Marcus. They hooked us up. I know Greg. Greg know me.
Could have been any other movie?
No, well, they gave me free tickets to go to any movie.
And you're still like, let's see.
No, I was joking. I'm not going to go see. I'll be damned. I'm not supporting them. Rhea, though I am intrigued because I am somebody. I love documentaries. I really do, and I love history. And I do think it'd be very interesting to see it. But unfortunately, it'd probably be like a lot of propaganda. Like she gave a whole speech talking about we must. I'm trying to do her accent. We cannot, as Americans, stand for this. In the background, it has Melania, the movie, while she talking about what happened in Minneapolis. 833-212-1017. Winky Blue, you have a comment or a question? Which one? You're on Truth to Power.
Well, I have 2. The first question is, do you know who Humphrey Hoover was?
Herbert Hoover? President Hoover?
Yes. Do you know yes.
Herbert Humphrey Hoover. Hoover. Man,
Okay.
we both, you tripped me up. He was the former governor of Minnesota, wasn't he?
Brother, I want to tell you something. In 1930, that guy started a mass deportation of the Mexican immigrants that have been trying to really pour Mexico into this small country and Spanish-speaking people into this country to really fade it into what they want it to be, a Hispanic nation. In the 30s, if you would have got caught doing what we doing now, standing up and doing all this, dude, they was dragging them out. They was sending them back. Wasn't no playing no games. All of this internet stuff and law has become, they have written law so cold now that they are very much protected in what they're doing. But back in them days, in the 30s, when they first did the deportation, wasn't none of this here. They was going and getting them for real. So we having fun right now with this whole situation, and we get to say whatever we want to say. But in reality, and when you talk about black politicians, brother, the black man, me and you, we hold the number 2 position in this country, but we're losing it and we're giving it away. See, we hold the number 2. The reason why Minneapolis is not getting the momentum that it needs for protests and all that, because the black man doesn't stand down. When the Negro move around, things happen. If the Negro says, send them all back today, if that black caucus that we got,
can I ask you a
guess
question?
What? They would start.
Yeah, a quick question. So when it comes to protecting politicians like Maxwell Frost, who was punched in the face at the film festival and had to deal with racial slurs being hurled at him, and with Ilhan Omar having something sprayed on her while giving a speech, why are more people speaking out and protecting them? And why are more black people saying, nah, I may not agree with you politically, but we can't allow for folks to do you like that?
Okay, now the other guy, what is his nationality background?
Maxwell Frost, he's Puerto Rican, Haitian, and something else.
There you go. Man, we got a battle. Listen to this here. There you go. The Omar, what is her nationality?
Somalian African.
Okay, there you go. There you go. When those people come to this country, and I know you're finna kick me off because you only got a few minutes. When those people come to this country, Kyle, they do not come here to join our team. They come to go with the winning team. Who is the winning team? White America. You understand me? They segregate themselves in these communities. Even the Puerto Rican, he segregates himself. The Mexican, they segregate themselves. Don't
the Somalians have their own neighborhood in Minneapolis?
That's right. They segregate themselves away from us. Me and you go out there kicking it in their community. You ever been up there in Minnesota? Man, they treat us real bad, man. Look here, let me explain this to you.
All right, I got a Somalian friend, my good friend Adam. He actually just texted me about the Bucks today, and then he sent me a funny video. I guess my experience with Somalians is different. So I don't know. But at the end of the day, when somebody look like me, when somebody identifies as black, when they say I'm American, I'm a black American, I'm a Somalian American, understand that they are more closer to me and attached to me than other folks. And I feel like we should stand up for them. We should fight for them. But 833-212-1017. Miss Sandra, thank you so much for joining in on today's conversation. Also, Winky Blue, I appreciate you joining in on today's conversation. And before we go to break, the award-winning 1017 The Truth is the proud home of Milwaukee Panthers basketball. Panthers basketball is back in action tomorrow night as UW-Milwaukee celebrates homecoming against the Wright State Raiders. Scott Warris has the cover starting at 6:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth in the Milwaukee Panthers Sport Network from Learfield. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Truth Nation, and when we come back, I'm going to share my final thoughts for today. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Keep it locked because we got to keep fighting for those who look like us.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. It's homecoming for the Milwaukee Panthers. Tune in Friday night as the Milwaukee Panthers host the Wright State Raiders at the UWM Panther Arena.
Jackson step back three is good. See Jack buries it. Panthers got to close strong. Kone with a strong move right down Main Street.
Scott Warris has the coverage Friday starting at 6:30 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 7 o'clock.
Hey y'all, it's 1017 The Truth's Rhea Riley for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. Skip the sterile clinical office feel. Sweet Talk stays on the cutting edge of beauty and wellness innovations in a vibrant, playful space promoting self-love and confidence. Sweet Talk specializes in a range of treatments, including injectables, medical-grade skincare, weight loss, hormone therapies, and more. Not sure where to start? Sweet Talks offers comprehensive wellness consultations to create a customized plan centered around you. Because at Sweet Talks, your goals are their goals. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush, Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered. With fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel, Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
This is your Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference Basketball weekly update on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Two big wins to highlight as we start on the boys' side in the Blue Division. The Golden Meyer Owls went on the road and took down the Milwaukee Reagan Huskies 68-56 behind an unreal performance from their 1-2 punch. Junior forward Chris Reddick was everywhere, posting an absurd double-double with 25 points and 18 rebounds. But somehow that wasn't even the wildest stat line of the night, as senior Caleb Colbert went full video game mode, recording a quadruple-double with 22 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 steals. And now to the girls on the gold side of the division, as the Milwaukee Hamilton Wildcats dominated on the road Tuesday night at Carmen Northwest, cruising to a 62-35 win. Junior Josiah Collins led the charge, finishing with a strong double-double of 25 points and 10 rebounds.
This has been your Milwaukee Public Schools City Conference Basketball weekly update. MPS proud and MPS strong. You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Ho! This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. You can watch and stream us live on YouTube. Make sure y'all still give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. And today I really talked about the fact that America just seems to be just going backwards, right? Going in the wrong direction. And Winky Blue called in talking about this country and immigrants coming here. And it's always interesting to me how we fall into this trap of, this is a country of immigrants. Y'all know that they arrested Native Americans in Minnesota like ICE is? They're arresting Native Americans. Do y'all know what a native is? Rhea, do you know what a native is?
Yes.
Yeah, that's somebody who originates from here. They're arresting Native Americans. The immigrants are arresting natives. We're a country of immigrants, so we cannot allow the white man, and I say the white man, to influence us to say, oh, well, you got to get rid of these other people. Well, this country was built on illegal immigration. Now, I'm not saying we need to open our doors because I am against that. But we have to understand that when they're trying to replace people, they're not replacing people because they want to uplift us. It's because they want this country to be more white dominant. We should definitely be a welcoming place for people to legally come here. It should definitely be that way. But this has been Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. The Tory Lowe Show is up next from 1 to 4. Truth Nation. Tomorrow's show is going to be another fun one. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Bless y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Milwaukee business owners,